Hey guys, my name's Becky. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I do crafts, wet felting, and Nuno felting. So last week's video was on embellishments that you can use in your wet felted or Nuno felted pieces. I've also done videos on fabrics to use in your Nuno felting, fibers to use in wet felting and in Nuno felting, and tools or supplies that you can use in your wet felting and Nuno felting. So in this week's video, I thought it'd be really great if I were to show you my actual setup as if I were to be making a wet felted scarf. So if I don't get to the actual wet felting this week, I really would love to do that next week, and it might be a longer video or it might be broken down into parts just because wet felting is such a process. And I also thought it'd be really great that I would show you the supplies or tools that I use for this week so that next week you could felt along with me and you would have all the supplies already in hand. I just really quick want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. You have no idea. And also, if you haven't subscribed to it, I really hope in the future that you will. So let's get to this week's video. Okay, so this is my setup. So I have bubble wrap on my table, and then I have some painter's plastic, and you can get that at the dollar store. And you can get your bubble wrap. I would suggest to get your bubble wrap at like an Office Max or Staples. Now, I actually, most of the time, I don't even use the painter's plastic. And that's because I felt really gently in the beginning. And then I get a little bit more aggressive afterwards. But this is more for protection so that when you're felting, your wool doesn't get in between the bubbles here, and then it'll cause like an indent in your felt. So so this is my base. I have the bubble wrap. I wanted to show you quickly, if you were to get your bubble wrap at a Dollar Tree, I want to show you the size comparison to one that you would get at like Staples. So this is the Dollar Tree one, and then this is one that you could get at like Staples or like a FedEx shipping place, or even buying it online. Now what you could do is you can buy, you would have to buy a few of these for the length, and then also the width. So I would take the Dollar Tree one, and then I would take another one, put it side by side, tape it together so you have your width is longer, and then I would add two more. So I'd say I'd probably about 4 in total if you were to use the one from the dollar store. So that's around $4. I'm not quite sure how much the bubble wrap is right now from Staples, but you get a lot. The next thing that I have that I use in my felting is Dawn, and I have my olive oil soap. I really like the way the olive oil soap feels. I don't necessarily know if it makes it felt better, but it's just gentler on my hands, and it feels like it's easier for me to felt with it. I don't think it makes it felt any better, but for me, it makes it an easier process, I feel like. The Dawn, I like the price point on it, and I usually use this in the beginning of my felting to save on my my olive oil soap, even though I have a ton of it. Now this is the tool I was showing you in the video, the tools and supplies for wet felting and Nuno felting. If you haven't seen that, you can go and click on that on my channel. And this is just a foot massager, and so I use this on my channel. It has the link underneath that video to purchase this. I believe it's on Amazon. So I will be using this. Now I was telling you about when you lay down your wool when you lay down your layout of how you want your scarf, you will add the soap and water, and then you add your netting, which would be like a tulle. You could add your netting. Now this is the curtain I was trying to find in the tools video as well. This is just like a curtain, and you can place that on top of it. I personally don't use this. I find it much more difficult to use. And like I said in that tools video, I use this screening. So that's what I'm going to use. But you are more than welcome to use tulle or the curtain or whatever it is that you feel comfortable with using. So I will be using personally this screening. And it doesn't, as you can see, it doesn't fit all the way. So I usually just go in sections to begin with. And then I have my pool noodle and I have my sprayer. Now, once again, you can use this little guy. Just get a bowl, water, soap, suck up the water. Or you can use like a jug. Let's just say this wasn't full. You could put holes in the top of this, add your water, and then you can sprinkle the water like that. That would be fine too. And that would be free. So you can use that. All right, so then we have stockings, and these are just regular stockings that I cut the legs off of. And you can get that at like the dollar store, or you can use tie for like yarn or like a shoestring, although I think a shoestring might be more difficult to untie. I really like just using the pantyhose because it's just super easy to tie it and to untie it, and it also stretches really nicely. So when you add the towel over it, you know, you have some give there. Whereas something like yarn, you'd have to cut it to like the right length. So yeah. And of course, you're going to need water for your bowl. If you are using this right here, you will need an extra supply, which would be a bowl. And one last item, it would be a towel. And I use the towel for after I roll up my piece. I roll it up in the towel, and then I tie that off as well. So that's the last supply that you would need. Next week's video, I am going to do a scarf. Like I said, it might be in parts. I don't know how easy it will be for me to upload a whole felting process, because that could take a while. So we'll see what happens. It might be one video, it might be over a few videos, but I thought it'd be really great that I can show you what my setup would look like. That way we can actually felt together and make a scarf. Now, as far as how much wool you will need, let's just say 4 ounces, and then whatever embellishments, because it also depends on how large you want your scarf. So I'm just going to go ahead and say grab 4 ounces of merino wool and whatever embellishments that you want to add into that. Now, for the fiber, the embellishment fibers that I had posted last week for last week's video, you can go ahead and use those types of fibers. I didn't add this to last week's video because this is just novelty yarn, it's not fibers, but you can add yarn to your piece as well. If no one's told you this week, you are loved, you are beautiful, and you are worthy. Take care. Bye-bye.